Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. It is April 25th. So I'm like so not organized. Oh my Lord. First of all, I want to thank you. I continue to receive your notes of sympathy, support, and understanding with regard to Skittles. Thank you so much. I also want to thank you for all of the energy and good wishes, etc., pertaining to this move that I am in the middle of. I have moved a lot in my life, I have to tell you, and I have never experienced such a scattered, disorganized, and slow moving move. Like things like there's this section of wall that I need painted, and it, it's just dragging. It just takes forever, which means that all the things that need to get, put on shelves and etc. on those walls can't be done. So everywhere I look, it's a little crazy. And the thing is I am super well aware of how powerful your thoughts and energy and your support and good wishes are. And it makes me actually tremble to think about what kind of shape things would be in around here without all of the incredible support you're sending my way. So I thank you. I really, really thank you. One of the things that happened while we were, while this event, if you will, is unfolding, is that I overdid it one day last week. In fact, okay, to be honest, I overdid it like for 3 days running last week. And that ended me up in bed for 2 days. This is day 3, actually. This isn't my bed, although it is the new couch. Kind of nice, eh? Anyways, because I really, really, really aggravated one of my knees. And so on top of everything else, I've been spending a significant amount of time in the last couple of days just hanging out in a bed thinking about life. One of the things that I thought about while I was hanging out in bed thinking about life was that people really seem to enjoy my private readings, and I absolutely love doing my private readings. But I was thinking that maybe what I would do starting in May, I'm going to try for the first week, but I'm not going to promise anything. But I want to do sort of a more general set of private readings, I think probably on a weekly basis. So it's probably going to be formatted something like, a grouping of cards and probably crystals, because we know that, I really like them. And it's going to be kind of like a pick your crystal, and you intuitively are going to listen or focus in on the reading that represents the crystal that sits above the cards. So that way you'll be getting a little bit of a mini private read, I'm hoping week by week. And because that's just something in addition I want to do, and that is actually going to be taking place on this tarot channel, the Soulprint Intuitive Tarot channel. So I'm hoping that's exciting for you. If it's something you're really interested in, let me know. If it's something that you're not, let me know before I sort of, get started on this sort of little road I think I'm going to travel down. So it's 100 days for Biden, and I'm doing this zippy fast, okay, because it is so kind of crazy around me. But I couldn't let the kind of the 100-day mark pass. I know it's in the next couple of days. Without popping in and just seeing how Joe Biden and the Biden-Harris administration is doing. Heaven knows they have had amazing accomplishments. They seem to be moving steadily towards sort of correcting things that have long needed correction. And of course, the Republicans are doing their level best to fight them in every which way they possibly can, not only federally, but of course state-wise, because, the GOP has finally figured out that, they really are a party that has lost their way, and they are now only focused on the lowest common denominator. So, I want to take a look at Biden and see how the administration's doing. This is going to be one of those ones where I'm going to have to show you the cards as I go along, because I'm just not set up to bring a camera down. And that's actually going to stay that way for a little while, simply because the table and chairs that I need to sit at in order to most do this efficiently is on back order. And so it's going to be a few more weeks before it actually arrives in my home. And that is going to just sort of delay me getting kind of an organized rhythm and schedule going. Hang on, because I dropped some cards. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to give these just a couple quick shuffles, and then we're going to see what we can see with regards to the Biden administration. It was nice to see that George Floyd got, I guess, justice. I don't know how much justice is justice when you're dead, but got it. There have been continual police shootings, and so that's definitely going to continue to gain momentum. And there's going to continue to be changes because your country is desperately in need of those sorts of changes. Okay, here we go. Let's check in on Uncle Joe, shall we? Here we go. Biden-Harris administration, Biden-Harris administration, Biden-Harris administration. Let's see what we can see, shall we? Lovely. Okay, so to start with, we have the Hangman, the Ace of Swords, which is one of my cards for Joe Biden, the World, and the Empress. These are really, really wonderful cards because, you know, what it's talking about basically is that with this administration, there is finally this energy of the wait, the long wait being over. And there is also an energy that this administration is like not only capable, but focused on and desiring to really look at things from a different perspective, to finally see things in a way that is not all about, you know, what the Washington Beltway and what big party politics want for their agendas. There is finally this energy of actual change, actual shifting of ideas and thoughts. Things that were status quo are no longer simply accepted to be status quo. And so he is instrumental in bringing along this change that not only ends a cycle that has been like hundreds of years. Okay, like this is not about you know, that guy. This is about, in some ways, the histories of behaviors, the histories of things that have been considered normal or standard. There's a lot of stuff here that he is going to bring to an end, and certainly has so far. End isn't quite the right word, but he's definitely wrapping things up. He's definitely gaining new perspectives, and they're definitely looking at things in a way that you really haven't seen, even with the Obama administration. You really haven't seen this sort of aggressive and focused delivery of promises. It's really been remarkable. And of course, we have the Empress. Okay, so this is also talking, of course, about Kamala and the contributions that she's making. A lot of them are not like kind of really on the surface sometimes, but there's a lot of work she's doing, and she's building a lot of bridges, it feels like. And it feels like there's a lot of new starts and new beginnings and anticipated and frankly expected growth and renewal and rebirth. And so this is a fabulous sort of way to start that reading. I mean, those are terrific, terrific cards. And it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Okay. Okay. So you have the Ace of Wands, the Lovers, and the Ace of Swords. Okay. So again, This represents, the Lovers is one of the cards actually that represents the two of them together as president and vice president. It is that team dynamic. It is that sense of Biden is somebody who is more than capable, willing, and in fact determined to share the spotlight and to ensure that the best people are in position to do the best job, whether that is for his secretaries of different areas, whether that is diplomats, whether that is cabinet posts, whatever it is. There is a focus on getting the best people in position, and despite the fact that Mitch McConnell and the GOP have been really ridiculous when it comes to confirming people, that push continues, and by and large, those people are getting confirmed and through. It's a little slow, but it's happening. And one of the things that that was learned that Joe Biden really absorbed into his DNA from the Obama years was that you cannot kind of play with the GOP. They're not going to come to the table, and he knows that. So on the one hand, he says, listen, we're prepared, and he is. I mean, it's not just talk. He really is prepared for bipartisan things to start happening and going on, but he's not going to sit around and play games with them. That message and that strength is coming through, and more you're seeing as the GOP descends into sort of this crazy, that guy, and the crazy that follows him, and the way they have just sunk into the mud with this guy. The more that energy kind of carries on, the more there is that sense that the GOP is coming unbound. They really are attaching themselves to this guy. I mean, honestly, if there was a period of time where we thought that maybe there was hope that the adults in the room would come front and center, what has happened is pretty much to the world's horror, we've discovered there are no adults, not within that party. And so they are going to continue to lose, and they are going to continue to try to wreak their brand of destruction and self-focus, and we're going to do what we're going to do because we can do it. And honestly, they're becoming so blatant and so obvious about it. And that's not going to ultimately, it's not going to serve them, but they're not going to figure that out. They're certainly not on the road to figuring it out. On the other hand, what you have is an incredible amount of hard work that is leading the Biden team to victory. So you have an amazing rollout of the COVID relief packages, the money. You have an amazing, really effective way of getting those shots into people. I mean, literally, he promised 100 million in 100 days, and he has more than 200 million before 100 days. That is a powerful amount of work getting done. He does not shy away from things that are difficult. I was sort of amused to see that on the one hand, Putin was stomping, and beating on his chest saying, nobody can interfere with us. We're going to do what we're going to do, and don't you dare cross that line with us. And then very quickly, he started pulling troops back away from the Ukrainian border. He realizes that he's no longer dealing with who, and he's actually dealing with somebody who has a spine. So, and then of course that was that recent environmental conference that he just did with 40 world leaders. This man is moving, and he is accomplishing things that are long overdue. And frankly, he's accomplishing things that vast numbers of the American people support and want. And that includes, looking at the policing situation, looking at gun laws, etc. Some things he is taking sort of tentative steps. Some things he is taking much more bolder steps. But trust me, he's getting this done. There was a lot of worry, a lot of concern about, him sort of, I don't know, not being healthy enough, not being strong enough. Of course, viewers of this channel absolutely know that that was something I discounted quite a long time ago. I did say right at the beginning, this is going to really zap his sort of life source, his energy force. But this is his destiny, it's his mission, it's what he's going to do. And whatever worries or fears or anxieties he has, he deals with them privately with Jill. He talks things over with her. Any sleep that he's losing, any worry, anxiety, he actually really views it as the price, simply the price to get these massive, incredible things done. There really is this sense of he'll fight whoever he has to fight, and then he'll simply walk away and find a different way to balance what he chooses not to fight, and he simply chooses to override because he is riding a wave of incredible good fortune. And it's not for him. It is for the country of the United States, and it is for the people of the United States. And honestly, it's been a really long time. In fact, I'm not sure if you ever have, because I'm not really clever with U.S. history. But I don't know that you have ever had a president or administration that is so determined to do so much so quickly in terms of righting that ship. Whether it is the incredible infrastructure programs. I think, the energy of this reading is kind of like this. It's like, what? The work, he's doing the work. His administration is doing the work. The people he has in place are doing the work. And there is going to be very, very little in 4 years that is going to look the way it looked on, in November for the elections, and certainly in January when he was inaugurated. Things are simply going to continue to change for the better, shift, because there is an incredible amount of hard work going on, and probably more important, there is the understanding that you can't drag your feet on this. You can't wait for the GOP to get on board. You can't wait, because the GOP right now is doing absolutely everything in their power to try to really, really impact those midterms, because they understand that there is, this is not good for them, right? If it was so good for them, they would not be fighting so hard. But they're fighting so hard because they realize that this is a losing battle for them. I also want to take a moment here. It looks like there's going to be some interesting stuff coming out of the Justice Department. And make no mistake, Merrick Garland is truly sort of a calm oasis in very rough waters. And he is very methodically and very carefully and with great wisdom slowing down that rocky water. He is just calming things, and he's going through, and things are getting done and accomplished. And, his department is not shying away from difficult situations. I mean, they're going after Roger Stone. There's the whole Matt Gaetz situation. They are not, pulling back and kind of trying to be politically correct. What they are being is justice. They are being that department within the United States that handles justice. And so that also is going to play very well, because again, whether it is something like Stone or Gates, or whether it is taking a good hard look at policies and practices in Minnesota. But there's definitely an independent and a very focused Justice Department in the United States. It's getting stronger all the time, and you're going to start see the impact of that. Okay. So 100 years in, what do you have? Well, you have a government that is working better. You have clarity where there wasn't. A lot of things that were shadowed are now coming to light. Certainly things that have gone on in the last 4 years are coming to light, but it's more than that. There is just sort of the fog is being lifted, the clouds are being removed, and those things that were just, oh no, let's keep that quiet, are no longer being kept quiet. The government, as it stands, is gaining strength. And, you know, really the only other message that I'm getting really strongly at this point is that while there is much to be jubilant about and happy about, and it's exciting to watch the changes, it's also really, really important that people do not lose sight of what the GOP is trying to do. And remember and understand that the midterms are coming up much, much faster than anybody realizes. And I want you to just think back to, I guess it would have been January of 2017, when, you know, that guy had hit his 100-day mark. By then, there had already been massive rallies about people saying, oh, no, this guy is not going to do. There have been movements already starting, planning up and gearing towards and moving towards really making those midterms a powerful, powerful repudiation of him. And in the same way, there needs to be that same sort of powerful focus going forward as a show of incredible support for what the Biden and Harris administration has accomplished, not only in their first 100 days, but what they certainly are going to accomplish in the next, I don't know, what is that, about 700 days or so, when the midterms roll around. So that's what I know right now. I so appreciate you kind of hanging in there with me and kind of putting up with the crazy and the sporadic videos. And people who have been emailing me know that eventually I get to you, but it can be literally days, because there are literally days that go by where I don't even, never mind, I don't turn on my computer. Sometimes I'm not actually, frankly, sure exactly where it is. But I'm working my way through juggling all of these balls in the air, and I'm so grateful that you are all just hanging in there and being incredibly, incredibly supportive and understanding, and you continue to send all this amazing energy to me and my family. We're so grateful. So I look forward very much to getting into some sort of a rhythm that recognizes something that I don't know, that we all recognize, but it is going to take a couple more weeks. I really hope that everything by May 1st would be up and running. It doesn't look like that. It's going to be a bit of a slower process, but hang in there. I thank you. I'm so grateful. And, you know, let me know if you like the idea of the more generalized mini reads week by week. Until next time, take care, be well, and we'll see you really soon. Bye-bye.